It's like I love that. I love when I show you. What is happening? It's your boy. Back with another slamming hit. Oh, fuck yeah. Can I download this? Why can't I download my video? Let's do this. Okay. Right. Well, here we are. Back again. We made it to the weekend. Very nice. Welcome, 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 welcome. Biacchio the Blue. That's what these whack names, Holmes. Oh, it's bullshit. Why does my account get locked? I suppose that's quite funny. How can you even get blocked, Max? I swear like people go... I swear I go on there and like someone's talking about I want to murder little Jewish people and that's fine. Someone asks a joke question, how can I lose £20 for the weekend? I said, cough, you're off. That's too far apparently. Even though it's a joke, I'm sure there's probably some idiots who would take that seriously. Okay, but I cut my arm off. But that is just funny. I think it's like a double standard. I refuse to pay for it. But I'm pretty sure if you pay for it, they just don't care. It's like, or they just give you the warning. But if you don't pay for it, then you get a warning. You have to wait like a whole fucking week. But they don't care because you're not making any money, so it doesn't really matter. It is just funny, like the double standards, because I go on there. Like people who are absolutely talking about like lifestyle things, and they're fine. Well, it's probably going to be shorter. I'm not really going to play for that. I'll be up tomorrow. Carrying on. fine.
ああ、それについては報告を受けてる。うちからも蒸気結界を張れる人員を数名回してくれ。それと4番隊の詰め所の人手が足りてないらしい。この報告書を届けるついでに手伝えることがあるか確認しておいてくれ。
わかりました。
さて次は
周平。
蘭菊さん、
お疲れ様。隊長代理大変そうね。最近ずっと働きっぱなしって聞いてるわよ。ちゃんと休憩取ってる？
いえ、そんなこれぐらい大したことないですよ。
だからってなんで周平が雑用までやってんのよ。聞いたわよ、下の子たちの仕事まで引き受けてるって。代理とはいえ隊長の本分は指揮を取ることでしょ。私が言うのもなんだけど、頼める仕事はどんどん人に頼まないと。
こうやって忙しくしてる方が余計なことを考えなくて済むので気が楽なんです。何もしてないとずっと立ち止まったままになる気がして。
立ち止まったまま。よし、だったら周平、ちょっと私に付き合いなさい。手合わせしましょう。
いや別に。
ちょうど一汗かきたいと思ってたところだったのよ。
ちょっと蘭菊さん、
ささ行くわよ。
蘭菊さん、
Oh, you're going down, Shuhei.
当たり前よ。
You're going down
ほら、
like it's
かかってきなさい。
でも俺ちょっとそういう気分じゃ。
ごちゃごちゃ言わない。来ないならこっちから行くわよ。
2 minutes. All right, I can do it. Hell yeah. Gotta get that Rangiku. The music is good. Is that safe for true? Oh yeah.
これで終わりだ。そうだ。そうだ。
大したことないわね。
なるほどな。
こんなもの
出すか。そんなものか。なるほどな。そんなものか。この程度。なるほどな。そんなもの。どこ見てんだ。どこ見てんだ。
遅いわね。これまだまだ。
かかって。ズリライン。
やっ
Shihei. They like bug Shihei. So she's always the like one character. Bug Shihei. Absolute cinema! Yeah, that's it. I was watching some fucking, what can I say? Alright, fine. I know I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I'm not gonna be like 1% of people's cup of tea. I get that. That's fine. And that's okay. Maybe I just want to be alone. Because I don't ever want to have people like that. It's just, I think there's like this thing where you as you get older, you understand why Jesus only had 12 disciples. Because out of those 12, you know he's like bettered them, and they're probably very reliable people, very decent. No offense, I just think when people are chasing numbers, you just have no idea who's underneath you. And actually, I think that scares me more than actually not having any people. See what I mean? Because it's like, at least then, it's like, I know that I'm quite instilled in some good values. So I just feel like if people just passing me to go watch, like, I don't know, I Show Speed or Asmongold or whatever, fine. But I don't have that, I don't know, I'm trying to think what they don't have. I guess they, I don't know. I don't really respect like Asmongold's person, him as a person. I don't. It's probably just hear how he presents himself. I don't like guys who just kind of are very schlubby, and it's like they're great, they're famous, and it's like they're not really taking care of themselves, and it's just like they've just been like picked as like a representation of like what 4chan is, and that's essentially like where all of them goes. Like all of the sort of kids now don't use 4chan anymore. They just nominate someone who kind of represents like almost like the internet zeitgeist, that kind of like greasy long-haired dude who work in tech and he knows all the memes and stuff. Like that's that kind of guy who they want on there. But it's different. For women, it's not that way. Like, as a woman, you need to be good looking basically to make it. As a bloke, it's not that way at all. If anything, probably actually being worse looking is better as a bloke, because generally I think like guys, they prefer listening to less attractive dudes. I know that sounds weird, but I think it sort of like puts them off less. It's like, whereas if you're like listening to someone like Asmongold, everyone kind of thinks like, oh, they're about to be as Asmongold. But you don't really want to watch Chad because you feel like you're going to get too insecure. I don't even think that was 2 minutes. We'll see. Luckily I've got a sock count, so I can still do it. But it is just a bit annoying. Why have you got 69 tattooed in your face?
そんなひどい顔をしてました。
そりゃも
う。マジっすか。
少しは気が晴れたみたいでよかったわ。こうやって体を動かすこともたまには必要よ。
I mean, I get that those numbers just kind of like they look a bit like yin and yang. That's like my only excuse. I'll give it. But if no one says 69, really doesn't think of like the sex move. It's just.
はい。ありがとうございました。
Just a bad choice of numbers.
仕上げに飲みに行くわよ。
Especially when he's talking to her. I love like she just wants to drink all the time. I kind of get that. She's very much the modern woman. I can't believe it's 31. It's 31 tomorrow. I'm painting. Fucking painting, so. And I'm jogging there as well. Fuck the bike. I think I should get most of it done tomorrow because I essentially the hardest thing for me to do was the living room because it's just like 2 8-meter walls and then 2 5-meter walls, but then one of each of those walls will have like a window for it, so that probably takes out like 60% of that wall. But then you've still got like the 2 just 8-meter and 5-meter walls, and they just bastards just paint just because like even if you have a roller, if you just wet that whole thing and as carefully as you can just manage to like get it on the wall, that'll probably do like 1 or even not even like right up to the top of the line. So you've got to do almost like 2 rollers just to get like a line which would be like that thick of where the roller is. And then you've got to do that for like 5 meters. And it's just so soul sucking. I gotta hope that there's like a H3 podcast or something that's gonna come out tonight, which I think he probably does. I know people will be like, listen to H. I don't care. He's a bit frothy. He's a bit goofy, and actually I kind of like that. I know people just say blah 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 blah, but I don't know like who are you putting up against? Like Tectone. I can't get into the whole. I hate. Like the Genshin lolly shit. I'm sorry, I can't follow a dude who likes that stuff. That's fine. People do. That's the grift. I'm not doing it. I just refuse to watch stuff like that. But this is about as far as I'll go. But as you'll see, I'm never going to comment on like the women and say they're attractive because I don't really think cartoons are. Each their own. I'm a prude. Fine. Again, I don't want these people to follow me. I just think if you're going to look in life and just think of like your top masculine dudes that you people are going to look up to, do you think they're going to be sat around saying, oh, I love playing Genshin Impact and finding this woman who's probably like 300 years old, but she looks like she's like 15. She's doing it. Like, I'm not falling for it. I don't do it. Who else? More Pegasus. So it's just everyone just loves sloppy wanking, sloppy content, sloppy wank. Just put SpongeBob memes everywhere. So what have I got to do for 45 seconds? Oh, I hate the other one as well. I hate counters this game. Alright. Just let me see if I can get this. Can you play this? Fuck. That's what I mean, because I just don't know when to do it, because maybe I need to get more brave with it, because I'm just like, I feel like when you activate it, there is still a second where they can like disrupt it, and I might be wrong. That might actually not be the case. I'm trying to, it might be hard for me to explain what I'm trying to do. Okay, ready? Get it wrong. Way too late. I mean, it's fine. It's my cross the bird. See what I mean? It's just his argument. I think it's just because he has that, like, he has the oh fuck. He has the sliding move. I just always throws me off. I can't. How long is that stuff? I don't really want to. So I'll just see if I can get a second one. Does that count? What are you talking about? Is that longer than 45 seconds? What's going on? Oh. I'm surprised that was 45 seconds. She's pretty good actually. I haven't seen her fucking use her Heineken. And that's like the one thing I'm weighing. Why was she just using her as an vaccine? I know, like, fine, but you could make Heineken like the Accura's thing, and I think that's probably like what would have been an interesting development. Is like they learned that hers was like the same kind of family as the Accura's. But what am I good at writing code? Take this. Blast it. Think it's all it takes, you little girl. Take this. Whack and schmack. Whack that meat. No, it doesn't count. That's the way it could be too. It's just stupid. That's the thing. It's like. So here are like the pro tips I'll give you. So if you're going to go for that full extra keto attack, you really got to think about if it's worth it. You got to really decide in your head like the multipliers, and that's what I'm saying. It's like when you're fighting someone with like 6, you think, okay, I can do 2 threes or I can do 3 2s. So in your head, I'd probably do 2 threes. So that means you're going to have to bring them all the way down from the red. So what I'm trying to say is, if you, yeah, like now. So I could do my Keycone move now, and then I'll only do 2, and that's fine. I should have done that because there's nothing higher I can do. But if you bring that red box all the way to the bottom, you'll do 3. But my problem is like you can see it now. I've done it at about 60%. It won't do anything. So it's like if you get it down to probably like 10%. It wouldn't do 2, so you see what I mean? It's like just a bit shit. And I know, like, they can't really, like, weight it, but it's that, you know. Just block him.
あんたの軌道にはいつも驚かされるわ。このまま修練を積めば隊長にだってなれちゃうかもね。
そんな。私なんて無理ですよ。アイゼン隊長みたいに。
Okay, well, like, so Speed and Kaisen, I'll give them a pass to be fair, because at least they do shit. Kaisen, he's gone too far with like not including white people, and I get it because I know, like, I'm assuming like him growing up, he probably. That's what happens, and I don't know enough about his past, but it's just funny because you just as a white person, you're very, very like aware of just like you're not allowed to just be solely white. It's like ingrained in me as part of like my my birthright. So you're not allowed to have like large gatherings of just white people. You need to have a token black guy or a person of color. But it's just when you see his streams, it's like he's just gone the complete opposite side, and it's like. He had like his whole streamer university, and it was like, I'm not even kidding. I said it on X, and I was like, speaking of things to get probably get blocked. I didn't. Luckily, got out of that alive. Me bringing it up, somehow I'm racist because I'm the only one who's noticing it, and that's how they get you. This is the sort of like the sort of not even gaslighting. It's like the kind of like games, the guilt they play on you to kind of make you feel bad for even bringing that off. And I'm like, you got to stand firm. You just got to say, I know I'm not racist. I know I'm not, but I'm allowed to still find like things that people in that community do that are bad or good. Me bringing that to attention is not necessary. But there is, I feel like a sort of low-key sense of racism towards white people, and I just feel like when actually now I realised, and it's funny because if you go on Google and you type in like what percentage of the world is white, it won't tell you from like, you won't get one of those like Google AI answers that you normally get. You have to like kind of like do a bit of research, and it's a bit interesting because it's almost like there is this shame that actually when you realise that only 12% of the world are white, actually I am the minority. I am the minority technically. If we're talking globally, I'm rarer than a Chinese guy, Indian guy, black guy. There are technically only about 8 to 10%, I think, or 13, I think is the highest they think is white. It's crazy. And it's like, we don't really have like a white-only country as well. And what do you mean by that? It's like, well, you go to China and you'll probably find that the majority of the people there are going to be Chinese. All their politicians are going to be Chinese. You go to like some countries in Africa, everyone there will be black. You know, same with their stuff. But a lot of European, US, all multicultural, and that's the problem, is you've got no sense of real identity now because they've diluted the culture so much that no one has a sense of identity. So you go down the town, you'll have like a guy from like, I don't know, Sudan, you have a guy from like Turkey, you're gonna have a guy from like Cameroon, somewhere from like France, and you have someone from like Poland, or you're gonna have like all these different people from these different cultures, and they're all just kind of like milling around in there, but they're not really integrating because like they barely can speak like a common language English, let alone their own. And it almost just feels a bit like that, like when you walk around, it's like, and I almost feel like white people, they have been indoctrinated to not really like look out and help each other, in a sort of sense of just like it will come across as being racist of, oh yeah, well, white people. So what you'll normally find is generally like if there's like a minority who gets involved, I have to use minority in like quotation marks if I'm talking about like in reference to the country, not the world. But people generally don't want to come across, because reputation is probably like one of the most powerful things you have, and there's sort of two things people do not want to be known as, is being a paedophile or being a racist. So minorities get that card to sort of throw that, and I think white people really don't want to be labelled as a racist. It's like the most powerful thing for them, and I think people of colour know that. So you just need to stand firm and just know that you're not, and you don't need to prove to them you're not as well. You just, someone just calls you racist, fine, whatever. Like, when you get a bit older, you realise that there's like, you can't just diagnose someone for being like a narcissist because you see like 2 posts they do online. Do you know what I mean? There's like, you got to know a person really thoroughly and, you know, make a very good assumption. You can't just, and that's the problem we're going into as well, is that we live in an age of like of allegations, so we're getting like people aren't really requiring proof so much. It's just they just can say things. People will just jump to the help, jump to the aid. I'm just talking over this. I don't know. It's just like I kind of get it. It's fine. It's like sometimes I feel like it, sometimes I don't. I'm starting a little bit later, you know. Let me go to the lab. I mean, people are watching this, whether they are watching.
銀の行動はソウルソサイティへの裏切りだったわ。 そんな奴のお墓を作ったなんて表だって触れ回るようなことでもないと思って。
でも僕には。
あんたには伝えるべきだと思ったの。
ありがとうございます。
さあ一緒にたくさん文句言ってやりましょう。言ってやんなきゃ気が済まないでしょ。
松本さん、ずっと聞きたかったんです。10隊長の最後について。
私が駆け寄った時には虫の息だったわ。でもあいつ笑ったの。ほっとしたみたいに。
But I think we're gonna see a shift soon because
朦朧としてるみたいだったし、何を見てたかまではわからない。でも
it was like I was listening to someone talk. It was quite good. They were talking about how we're being raised in a sort of matriarchy at the moment. And it does feel like that. And they showed the picture of like our cabinet. I'm from the UK, so our government cabinet. There's like 4 or 5 of the most powerful women, sorry, people in our country who are like women. It's just like, I don't know. It's just that there's rhetoric going around whether or not women really can actually hack that job. People are like, well, it was Margaret Thatcher, but she was like a fucking anomaly. I mean, she was. There are some women. I'm not gonna lie. This is where like it does go on. And then people are gonna say, well, they're the ones who make it into those positions. But we were proven when that woman cried. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, that obviously that's not the case.
僕とおたいが蘭菊の誕生日やな。やろ蘭菊。
I was going to be like, are they going to show Young again? That'd be cool. And I think that's true from my experience. It's all just empirical evidence, but I don't go base it on that. And that's the problem with everything. So you have discussions with anyone, it's just like you just open up like a litany of just cognitive dissonances and biases, because you just, I don't know, you're going to be biased, aren't you, about certain things. You're going to just have a certain preference to certain things. You're going to like give certain people certain treatment by the way that they sound or their names. But fine, I suppose. That's digression. I can't remember what my point was. Now I get to play as Hisabu. Will I get to use this Shikai? I don't know. He's quite cool. I can't remember if he uses Gets Bankai. I know, like, they did that really shitty, like, I hated it. Was that the Bound arc? It was this arc, this shitty filler arc, where, like, all of their Zanbaku came out as, like, I hate that shit. I like the idea that they're all, like, spiritual creatures, and they all kind of just, like, only they can see them. That was cool. I didn't like it when it was like, oh, they all just come out as like Pokemon or some shit. They were just like fighting weird effigies of their like sword. Yeah, Sagi's one was like this like little black demon thing. Just, so shit. It's just, like, even as a kid, I was like, I hate it. It's like that Bounto guy with the clock. I remember he fought Miuri and he had like this stupid... It was just even now, because I remember like watching it, we went to Spain on holiday and I remember this is like going back, I was probably only like 12, so... It was probably 20 years ago. And that's really depressing to say that. But yeah, 2025? That sounds about right. That does sound about right when Bleach was kind of out. I think Bleach came out like 2001, 2002. And the anime came out, I think, around 2003, 2004 probably. But anyway, my friend, back then it wasn't like as wonderful as it was. I'm in the Magic's period where I kind of do get a little bit of my life before internet, so I can still kind of be like that hybrid between knowing what life was like before internet versus what it is now, because I just could not understand at all what, I don't know, kids are like today with regards to just the gamut of the information that you have. Because back in my day, we're just talking about like the journey of information. It was a lot harder to find stuff out. I'm trying to think the best way to say it. What I'm saying is, like, now today you can just look on your phone, you can talk to your fucking phone, you can ask it anything, you can ask it like open-ended questions and AI will answer you. Well, it didn't used to be like that. Back then, yeah, it did used to be like books were kind of like, you had books and people, they were kind of like your main sources of like, information. Like 2 minutes. So that's why like, education was actually quite valuable back then, because like when you were paying your professor to like actually teach you about something, you know, that was the trick, was like that amount of money you're paying, you get that secret knowledge, don't you? That's kind of the point, is that you're trying to learn a skill that someone else doesn't have. That's kind of, you know, how you get a job. And that's what the problem was, is then once the internet kind of came out, well, I would say like we had different stages of the internet. So like when the internet very first came out, there was not even kind of Wikipedia really. You had like mostly just kind of like flash game websites, stupid like little promotional web pages like Space Jam and stuff like that. But it was all very, very primitive. But even like search engines like Google were not really about. You had like Arch Jeeves, just like is it Yahoo or something like that? Was way before Bing. I didn't have Yahoo stuff then. I mean that did just turn to Bing. But yeah, and it was just like, even doing the searches, I remember it used to take quite a while. Like, I remember if you like typed it in, click the search button, you hear your computer like actually like making like a clicky sound, like back then it was probably only like a couple of megabytes, so it's hard like to process it. And then yeah, we were so excited. I just remember as a kid, even just going, "Oh my god, you should type in anything and it comes up. Oh my god, skip toilet." I remember going to like my dad had like this really like rich friend, so I think he was always a little bit like undermined by him. His name was Andy. I don't know if she's doxing. Okay. His name was Andy Williams, which is really confusing. He's a singer called Andy Williams, and he always referred to him by like Andy Williams. So as a kid, because I watched The Simpsons, and there was that episode where like they go to Knoxville, and then like they go to see Andy Williams, and like I saw that when I was like 6, and it just always stuck in my brain that every time they were talking about Andy Williams, I was so confused. Like I was like, "You're not talking about the Andy Williams," because I hadn't seen him at that point. And it was like, no, obviously not. And it was also confusing because he was like a very rich, like sort of almost celebrity. He designed like Formula 1 tracks, and he just did like, and he like did loads of like oceanography stuff. He was like not celebrity famous, but I would say research wise and as a person, he was probably like very a bit of a renaissance man. But anyway, I just remember going around his house. I was really young. And this was before we even had a PC. And we're talking like, when we say computer, we're talking like one of those real old school, like cathode ray tube, big box, crappy monitors. And I think it had Windows 95 or 98. It was 98, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I don't even think 95 really had it. And I just remember like he was like really excited to show us like the internet, and like we came in. I remember the office, and we were just like crowded around his computer. And he was like, "Go on, like, ask it anything." And my dad just said, "I don't know. What about bowling in Southampton?" He typed it in. It came up bowling with cabbages. There was like some guy like made a page about bowling cabbages. I just remember just thinking that's hilarious. That's like my first exposure to the internet. I just thought that was brilliant. And you know what? Now I'm a sort of tenured after 20 odd years of that. Almost 25 years. It's pretty much the same shit. Yeah, that's it. Everyone is just full of shit. Fake news. Yeah. So at that point, it was like, I would say that the internet was very much a case of, at the very start, I'd call it like you couldn't really trust. Actually, it's ironic because it actually was the point where people didn't like trusting it because it was just too much like user edited, and I think people were aware of that. And then it's funny because now we've kind of like in hindsight had the same take on books, because it almost used to be that people had that like you know that mantra that if something's written as a book, it has to be real because it's a book. But no, you get tons of books just filled with actual garbage. It's just not been... And that's the thing. It's almost like the internet's a bit like that at the start, because it was just like it was that much removed from a book. It was like from a book you'd speak to a publishing house, so in your brain you're like, well, they wouldn't just let you publish anything. But actually that's probably doesn't happen, because if the publishing house just gets like 800 pages, they might they'll probably have a look through it just to make sure there's nothing like hateful in it, but I don't think they're going to super take loads of checks and do that themselves. So I think when people were like, talking about the internet, that layer just got lifted a little bit, and people were just kind of like, oh no, there's no way. There's no way we can trust these people. And then Wikipedia did eventually come out, and it was the same kind of thing. It was like no one. It became a meme at that point. Like I remember being like, I was in like secondary school at that point, and teachers were like very much like, if I find out that you've taken extracts from Wikipedia, you're gonna get detention. Even worse, I think they actually said like, oh, you'll get like penalized for plagiarism or something. I was like, Jesus. And yeah, I remember that as well. Like, so Google Translate as well. No way that's going to be like fucking anywhere near as good as it was today. But back then, I remember like teachers could so obviously tell if you'd used Google Translate. But like today, I don't know if they would. But back then, I think it was just like, yeah, still not very good. It's not like today where you've got like on my Google phone, for example, I can just hover my phone over like a statistics equation or any maths equation, and it'll show you, even with the workings out, like how it does it. And I was just like, well, I don't know. I think at this point you've got to sort of like teach kids sort of just, I don't know, more critical thinking skills, socializing skills, practical hands-on skills. You just got to think about, they probably don't need to learn facts so much now, just because you could give them like a very quick overview. But I think what the problem we're having is we're underestimating what kids these days can learn, and I think they're just getting bored because we're trying to still teach them stuff that it probably has been renovated. But I just think if you're just looking at kids watching videos, a lot of the times they're just watching fucking TikTok shit. And it's like, that's fine. But all that tells me is that it's just that these kids can process information faster, because we're living in a year, every day that goes by, we're just taking in more and more information every day. Even me watching and playing this game and talking and doing the streaming, all of that's like extra inputs that like my grandparents would never have even had to think about that. What would they be doing on Friday night? I don't know, probably just having a nice brew, having a dinner, and then just like going to bed like nice and early, like, you know what I mean? happily married, raising their kids. But it's like now every day we've got like so many different things that we've got to think about compared to like what all this information. And I think like a lot of the older people just take the piss out of kids because they call it like brain rot in the sense that they just watch videos that are like short. But actually, that's probably just, you can't fight it because they're going to be the majority. So it's like, okay, if this is how they're going to take on information, you need to almost like try to encourage that sort of medium to teach them, or you know, just have it so. I think like we spend too long. From what I remember as a kid, I got really bored because I just thought we spent too long doing things. They got us set up the school for like the most stupid kid. Like every link is chain is only as strong as its weakest link, isn't it? Same in school. It's like they gotta like make it so the stupidest kid is able to do it. So that's why like when you were a kid and I was like learning like multiplication, it's like I got it. Like, after like being shown it a couple of times, but they gotta like sit there for like 3 lessons because you gotta like make sure that the stupid kids can do it, and then the smarter kids just get bored, and then that's when they start to like fidget and they just like don't want to concentrate and then they get called naughty kids and they don't do very well because they just can't be bothered to focus. And it's just a fucking mess. So basically what you're doing is you're just penalising people who process information faster because it doesn't fit with whatever shitty standard. You're going to, oh my god, to get countered by him is that. How is the hitbox? I don't know if they hit this fucker. But I'll tell you, I've been listening to these guys called Kino Casino. They're good. I like them because even though like one of the dudes is really fat, he does still dish it, and I'm like, alright, I kind of respect that. Because you get people like Nicholas Diorio, and it's like, it's a shame because I really want to like Nicholas Diorio, but again, he fits into kind of like sort of tectone bracket where I've seen him act weak or just act like a pussy, and I'm like, I don't want to follow people like really. Do you know what I mean? I need people to be tough. What I mean by that is I've just seen him just acting a little bit like a little girl, being like, I'm gonna block you because you're a rando and you've said something mean in my chat. And it's like, dude, you've got like 100,000 followers. Are you really just gonna pick some ant out of your group and then block them for saying something? It's just stupid. And also it's just like, what does that even say about you as a person? It's like, I don't want to have someone who's got a different opinion or any criticism because I'm perfect. One! Oh my god. Sorry, this is not good. I'm hoping it's gonna go up if I kick his ass. I bet he's not gonna do one. Uh-oh. Yeah, absolutely fucking... What? Come annihilate the earth. So if this does 3, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna do 2. This is fucked. What did I do? Fuck your stupid moves. Fuck your stupid moves. Oh god. How can I only do 1? This is insane. How am I gonna beat this fucker? Yeah, do you remember in Bleach when Hisaki beat the fuck out of Captain Komura? I don't. That is actually mad. Actually mad. It's difficult for me to even explain like what's happening. I don't know what I'm doing this kind of thing. That's it. It is fun.
どこ見てんですしかったやすいことしか気を抜かね叩くぞ
I don't know what to do.
この辺りで良いか呆然で騒がしくするわけにはいかない野良いこっちだ逃がすか
Nothing personal. Just got shit to go do.
どこ見てる逃がすかどこ見てるどうぞ怖えそんなもんか
Oh.
甘いぜ終わりだどこ見てんだ怖え
That is like all it does. You know what I mean? Just a tank.
気を抜く
Can I just beat this motherfucker?
どうした潔
I can't believe it. It's not fair.
わしや当然はおろか他の敵にも届かんぞ分かってます
Just like if he gets any distance on me, I just get fucked. Oh, I can't do it. I just feel like I'm doing something wrong as well. It just doesn't. It just doesn't feel right. You see what I mean? It's just some of these levels are just like not weird.
呆然で
It
騒がし
doesn't
くする
feel
わけ
right.
にはい
It
か
doesn't feel like I should have to train this dude all the way to the bottom. So just to give you context, what do I have to do? I have to either get him down 4 times. Well, he's just like he's not like easy. He's not being easy.
たやすいことだ
He's not like brave. You know, I'm gonna go and slash Sage. Like really slimy. I'm gonna.